Hey everybody, welcome to my messy kitchen. Today I have a video chock full of food prep, fermented food prep, meat prep, dessert prep, yummy snack prep, all the things that you can think of that I can get done today. I started last night and I got up this morning and started cooking, and I have been on my feet all day. Here I am still in the kitchen. It is 7 o'clock at night. I'm cleaning up. I'm trying to get everything put away so that I can go and rest. But it's been a long day and I've had a lot to do. So I want to take you guys along, check it out. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Leave a comment if you would like to try the fermented recipes. I'm going to be posting things up above so that you guys can see, and down below in the description, the different recipes for the things that I'm making today. All of this stuff is already on my channel, so you can find it in the recipes playlist, the fermented foods playlist, and the dairy-free foods playlist. If that's something that you want to do, if you are interested in seeing those videos as well. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you are new here, this is Rouse Rising, and I am Katie. Hello. If you are new here, you may have just now noticed that I am a wee bit pregnant. So that brings me to what am I doing right now? This is my third trimester tea blend. It is strong with red raspberry leaf tea, some nettle, quite a few other things. My recipe is going to be linked down below in the description. I like to make a really strong infusion at night, and I let my tea steep overnight, and then in the morning I sweeten it with a bit of honey, strain it, well, I strain it first, then sweeten it with a bit of honey, and I sip on about a half gallon of tea every 2 days. And like I said, it is a strong infusion, but it is just what my body needs right now to supplement the diet that I have and the supplements that I'm currently taking. This tea is going to help prepare me for my baby's birth. It's going to help build my blood so that I am nice and healthy when that time comes. Over the years and all of these pregnancies that I have had, I learned early on to buy my herbs in bulk for my pregnancy teas. I have a first trimester tea, second trimester tea, and third trimester tea. And when I buy the herbs in bulk, I save a lot of money. Buying the individual tea bags, boxes of tea bags at the store can get really expensive. As I mentioned in the intro, you can find all of these recipes on my channel already. I have been posting my recipes for about 5 years to YouTube. I took a couple of years off where I just kind of, I just took some time off, and then I jumped back into it full speed ahead about 1.5 years ago. And this is one of our family's favorite recipes that I have shared on my channel before. This is the sauerkraut recipe, and I like to make this a bunch all at once because it is a tedious task to shred up all of this. And I have started using my food processor. I used to just slice it thin by hand because I didn't like having to clean the food processor, but it works much quicker. It's much faster than thinly slicing all of this cabbage by hand. This recipe takes about 10 days to complete, so I will brine the cabbage and pack it away in jars, and then it will sit on my countertop for about 10 days, and then we'll have a delicious sauerkraut that we can keep in the refrigerator for up to and sometimes even over a year. Fermented vegetables are a great way to preserve vegetables and the nutrition inside of them, and also they are much easier to digest, and the lacto fermentation process provides a plethora of probiotics, lactobacillus being one of them. And so this really helps improve the lining of our gut. It gives us necessary probiotics and improves our immune system function. So I highly recommend, if you haven't started already, to ferment some veggies in your kitchen. And these recipes that I'm going to be showing you today are super easy. Anybody can do them. All you need is the right amount of salt, because if you have the right amount of salt in your recipe, in your brine, then bad bacteria cannot grow and only good bacteria will survive. My favorite thing about having fermented veggies on hand is these are an instant side dish. So this sauerkraut can go with any meal as a side dish, and it's just super easy. It's already in my refrigerator. All I have to do is add a protein on the side, and maybe when I bulk batch cook up some sweet potatoes or some other kind of potatoes, I often have rice that's been cooked in bone broth and that kind of thing. So already in my refrigerator, and it makes meal prepping super easy, or it makes dinner time super easy because I can just grab some sauerkraut, grab the protein, grab a starch, whatever it is that we have on hand, whether it's sourdough bread or rice or sweet potatoes. I try to go with something nutrient dense, but this is a great side dish to have. It has so many benefits. I actually just purchased this large stainless steel bowl. It is a 16 quart, I believe, stainless steel bowl, and I got it at Ross, but I will try to link something down and below that is similar if you fancy that you want one of these. I tell you, it has made my food prepping much more streamlined, and I am so glad that I was able to make this purchase. It was only $14, but it is well worth it. And I'm just super cheap and I don't buy a lot of things. I also bought a crock pot you're gonna see here in a little bit from the thrift store. It was $15. I am a cheapwad, so for me to get something, it's a pretty big deal, and I'm just really excited about this super-sized bowl. Almost every single night without fail, I will make a leaven for some kind of sourdough something for the following day. I used to just make sourdough bread, and I would bulk batch bake the bread once a week. Now I find that I'm making either waffles or pancakes or these really amazing sourdough English muffins every single day. So I just started making 2 cups of flour and sourdough starter and water. Every night I do that, maybe 2.5 cups. And that way in the morning when I get up, I can decide what to use it for, whether it's waffles or English muffins or pancakes. I always have the leaven on hand to do that. These take 10 minutes on low on each side, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some other tasks done around the kitchen. I'm gonna boil some eggs in my Instant Pot, or rather I'm gonna pressure steam them. And this is a quick 5-minute way to boil a bunch of eggs all at once. I'm gonna do 2 dozen right now, but you are gonna see that later on I'm not gonna have it's like about 30 eggs actually. I'm not gonna have 30 eggs at the end of the day when I show you guys my bounty of cooking, because at some point during the day, my family ate a bunch of these eggs. They actually ate a bunch of food today that I cooked, even though my plan was to save some of it for throughout the week. And then this is gonna be the pork carnitas. I'm gonna go ahead and make this for tomorrow's dinner. This recipe is also on my channel. And then I gotta tend to these English muffins. They are still on low, very low heat, and they just slowly cook. We always dunk our boiled eggs into ice water to stop the cooking process. We found that 5 minutes on high pressure in the Instant Pot is just enough time to get the eggs done how we like. And then we dunk them in some water, and then they go straight into the fridge, still in their shell. So I've got some veggies and different things in my fridge that I need to be using up some old herbs, not old, but they're fresh herbs and some different things. And then these pork bones that I have been collecting for the last couple weeks. I'm gonna use these, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a pork bone broth that we can use for different soups. I'm gonna be making some lentil soup in the next couple of days to freeze for my postpartum meals for the baby, just to have some easy stuff on hand. But I'm gonna go ahead and just throw all these bones and veggies, herbs, whatever I can find to put in my Instant Pot. I will link down below and up above my bone broth recipe, and it's pretty standard. Right here I'm adding some leeks. I had some leeks from potato leek soup. I had the greens left over, and I threw those in the freezer to save to make for stock. And so I'm adding those, some green onions, some celery, some cilantro, parsley I have, some ginger, garlic, peppercorns, and I'm gonna let this go on high pressure, and then I'm gonna let it slow cook for a few hours. Then I'm gonna strain it out and put it in jars and decide what I'm gonna do with it over the next few days. Oh yeah, I forgot I added carrots too. I'm gonna eat those later. I try to always have bone broth on hand because I like to cook my rice in it, cook my vegetables in it, make soups, all that kind of stuff. So we have right now elk bone broth, chicken bone broth, turkey bone broth, and now pork bone broth in our freezer. And most of those I'm down to like 1 or 2 jars of. This will probably make about 4, a little bit less than a quart jars, because I do freeze them, so I don't fill them up all the way. I leave about a quarter of the jar up at the top open. That way it allows for expansion. So if you do freeze your broth in glass jars, allow for that expansion. Get the jars cooled down before you put them in the freezer. But these jars I'm just gonna put in the fridge, and then I'll probably use most of it this week in recipes. These I started last night, but they are already producing lots of gas, as you can see. This is another amazing and super simple, super easy fermented vegetable recipe that you will find in my Fermented Foods playlist. I will link it down below so you guys can check it out. So right now I am dancing and shaking up some salt water. I want to go ahead and make a quart of salt water that I'm going to add to half a gallon of chopped veggies. And yes, my husband's playing music in the background and I am grooving as I'm cooking and preparing food today. So we are having a good time here. To season or flavor this, besides the salt, I'm going to be adding a couple of bay leaves, some coriander seeds, and some black peppercorns. Pickled or fermented jalapenos. Need I say more? These are going to be so good. I can't wait to try them. So next I'm going to be making two variations of protein Rice Krispie bars, as I like to call them, or protein fat bombs. And the first is going to be made with almond butter, coconut oil, honey, and then Rice Krispies or puff rice, whole hemp seeds, chia seeds. I'm also going to throw some bee pollen in there and chocolate chips. And these are going to turn into bars that I'm going to keep in the freezer for the kids and I and my husband to have, just like fat protein snack to sustain us and to nourish us, full of omegas and great fats. Oh, so good. This is dessert, but it's like so healthy. You can use grass-fed butter instead of coconut oil, but I am making these dairy-free. I'm even using dairy-free dark chocolate chips because I believe some of these are going to be saved for the postpartum period when baby comes. And so I am going to go ahead and just nix dairy from my diet, but you can use peanut butter and butter to make this, or you can use almond butter or another kind of nut butter and coconut oil to make this. So we do almond butter in this batch for our daughter Hagen, who is she has an intolerance to peanut butter. She's not allergic, but she has an intolerance. So we do not give her peanut butter. That's why we are making these first. And then next, I am going to make a double batch of the peanut butter fat bomb crispy bars. And these are really good. I'm going to add some honey, coconut oil, get it all melted down. And then I'm doubling this recipe, as I already said, and you can find this in my dairy-free recipes playlist if you need the measurements or all the details. I add some different things in on that video. It's really open-ended what you add to it, what you have on hand. You can add chopped up pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, which I've done before. I just try to include as much as I can into treats like this so that we can get all of the health benefits and a little bit of sugar from the honey. It's a nice treat.
Done.
My husband made up a huge batch of elk sirloin steaks that we are having for dinner tonight. So he's just getting the kids their steaks cut up, but we will have this steak to feed us for the next few days. We'll throw it on the side of breakfast or throw it thin sliced on some sandwiches. So good. It is now nighttime and this broth has been going all day, so I'm going to go ahead and can it up. This is pork carnita from the pigs that we harvested, and I am going to blend this up with a mixer, a hand mixer. That's how I shred my chicken. That's how I shred my pork. It works really well. And then this is going to go underneath the broiler, shredded up, and then drizzled with the drippings, and then back under the broiler to crisp up some of the meat. And then I'm going to put this in a container, in a Pyrex container, to stick in the fridge to have for the next couple nights worth of dinners. And then also I'm going to be making a larger batch of this coming up. I might do 2 or 3 if I can fit that many in this crock pot. And then I'm going to be pre-making all the carnita meat and then freezing it for post-baby meals. This is a more recent recipe on my channel, so go check it out. I will link it down below. Here are the crispy protein fat bomb bars, and I am gonna slice these up, stick them in Ziploc bags, and pop them in the freezer, and we'll just take them out as we want to eat them immediately, because once they become room temperature, they get real messy real quick. I want to express my immense gratitude to all of you for watching this far. Thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to click that subscribe. I do a lot of fun stuff. Check it out.